Today's a bit different. This isn't about sales, flipping, or listings. This is about me and the journey I've been on the past year. I'm 36 and not long ago I hit a wall. Mentally, physically, emotionally. But something clicked. I decided to take control of my life, especially my health. And the impact it's had on my marriage, my work, my mindset, it's been huge. So I want to share that journey with you. Not because I've got it figured out, far from it in fact. Maybe there's someone out there, like myself, who needed to retake control of their life again, but doesn't know where to start. For the last couple of years or so, I haven't felt myself. I felt irritated, easily distracted, unhappy, unmotivated. Being self-employed means there is no structure unless you create it yourself. And for a while, I wasn't. I was burning on fumes, eating crap, constantly feeling stressed, barely moving, just wanting to wake up, get out of bed, to just get back into it every single day. The feeling of lack of self-worth, feeling of not being good enough, feeling of failure on a constant daily basis. And the saddest thing about this, it wasn't just affecting me, it was affecting the people around me, it was affecting my home life, it was affecting my friendships with people, my marriage. Something needed to change. It started to really affect the marriage. Less interested, less patient, less care, less attention. And the realization of potentially losing everything had to hit a point of no return. One day I remember looking in the mirror and saying, this can't be it. You're 36, this can't be everything, not like this. I needed to change, and change is always scary. So I started to take small steps, small actionable steps that really felt like it wasn't so much of a big change straight away. For years I've been talking about wanting to achieve so much, wanting to grow within myself, to also work on myself, to look after myself, to care for myself a lot more. And honestly, it was just words. I'd make so many promises to myself, to others, promises that would be kept for a couple of weeks and then broken to restart again. At first it wasn't extreme. I didn't feel it needed to be. It was just small, simple steps. Like I said, there was times where Leanne, my wife, would leave for work and I would just want to crawl back into bed and stay there all day. And there was times where that would happen. And before she walked through the door, I would take myself down to the sofa and I'd pretend it was just a normal day. I was scared to speak about what was going on in my head. And even to this day, I'm still not the best at speaking about it. And that's where we started. We started with small steps. We didn't start with trying to run a marathon, although I did sign up for a marathon and twice pulled out. Small steps such as just getting up and being grateful for what I do have. Small steps such as just get up and, even if you have to just do the basics, go and get that done. Feel proud about what you've done. Small steps when it comes to exercise, just going for an hour walk, breathing in the fresh air, getting outside. All of them small steps we can all do, but we have to push ourselves to do it. And for me, that was hard. For other people, they have a lot of self-motivation. It's just get shit done. For me, I find that tough. So I started small steps, drinking more water, being more active, even if it was just walking for an hour or two, put on a podcast and just being with myself, cutting out the junk food, and actually just realizing that it's never too late to change. Starting over, feeling brand new again. It's never too late. And I used to think to myself at 36, I should have had it all worked out by now. I still do not have it worked out by now. But taking control of that is the best decision I've made. So yeah, I've lost weight, sure. I've nearly lost 2 stone now, which is great. People are complimenting it. People are noticing it. I'm starting to see it myself. And for a little while I couldn't, but I'm starting to see it. That's all well and good. But there's more to it than just what you look like, what other people feel you look like, or the compliments you get. It's how you feel within yourself. So for me, it's not just what I weigh on the scales or what I look like to other people and myself. There's more to it than that. The mental clarity I have now compared to before is chalk and cheese. I'm nicer to be around. I'm more patient. I'm more forgiving with not just the wife, but friends and family as well. I feel I'm a lot more controlled in my actions, and I think there's many demons inside, probably many demons that I've not even tackled yet and I might never tackle, because I don't like speaking to professionals about this. I kind of just like coming on here and speaking to no one really, but getting it off my chest. So there's a lot more work to do, but all of that plays a huge part. And work-wise, in the business, I was sharper, more consistent, and that has started to pay off as well. And that has played a huge part on my mental state, because when you are consistent and you're getting rewarded for your hard work, I stress a lot less now about money. Are we going to be able to pay the bills? Am I letting the household down? What if this? What if that? And I have aspirations for the business to grow, aspirations for the social media to grow as well. But I feel so happy doing it. And every day I wake up and I just have a purpose again. That's the way I feel. I feel I have a purpose in life again. And as I said, at 36 years of age, I always felt at this point I would have my shit together. And I feel I'm starting to get there. It's not perfect, but I feel we're hitting the point where I am starting to get somewhere with this. So I've mentioned Leanne a few times. Let's talk about marriage, because it's not been plain sailing for us at all. During my worst times, which was lockdown period really, or before lockdown period, I was not the person I am. I'm not the loving husband, and our marriage broke down, and that was my doing. I tried to look at my own problems and to blame everyone else, and Leanne was the final person I could blame. But luckily for me, she stuck by me. We got back on track. Lockdown saved our marriage, because we were in the house together and we had to speak and be nice, and it gave my brain time to stop working in a high-pressured recruitment job, targets, KPIs. It really just gave me time to pause and to kind of admit that I'm not good. I'm no therapist. I don't like speaking to therapists personally. One day I might have to, as I say, but my advice may be, not that I want to give people advice, everyone's in a different situation, but give yourself grace. Give yourself that time just to stop, to slow things down, to evaluate clearly with a clear head. No snap decisions, because that's where I was at. Everything had to be a there and now kind of thing. I was the lucky one, because that could have been the end of that chapter of my life as well, the end of our marriage, if I didn't have someone strong enough to stick by me. So yeah, very grateful. And I think she knows that. Part of what I struggle with and have struggled with before is when I feel I need to show up for myself, I feel I haven't got the energy to show up for anyone else. And I've really had to learn that it can't be that, because back in that chapter of my life, I was very selfish. I just thought about myself the whole time. Nothing else mattered. I was the center of the universe, and that played a huge part on relationships. And I look back now at that person and I would have gave him a slap, to be honest with you. But at the time, I thought, it's everyone else's issue. I'm the perfect one. You lot are the ones with problems, not me. I'm good, I'm golden. Yeah, but give yourself grace, because it's tough. There's lots of pressures, lots of stresses involved, but I'm grateful I found a loyal person who has stuck by me thick and thin. As for work, being self-employed is a blessing and a curse at the same time, because when you struggle like I do with consistency and a routine, kind of managing that own time and own schedule can be really rough. And I've, in the last 2 or 3 months or so, really been working on it. It's played a huge part in the growth of the business in the last few months. I've seen the business grow based on the work I'm putting in with consistency and showing up for myself. And a huge part of that is the accountability aspect as well. So if things aren't going well within the business, it's down to what I'm putting in, it's down to the effort I'm doing. But where I flipped it on its head a little bit I don't beat myself up over it anymore. Because I used to go through the stages of the business is not doing well, that means I'm a shit person. And I feel I've changed that mindset a little bit, and that's been really helpful. With better health as well came better discipline, and it all plays a part. For instance, with the gym now, I get excited to go to the gym, and that sounds absolutely mad for me to even say. But even this morning I went to the gym, worked out, went for a swim, went in the spa part, steam rooms, and I came home from that feeling $1 million. And we all know there's science behind the gym, lets off these good endorphins and stuff. It's so true, but it doesn't have to be the gym. You don't need a gym membership for all of this. Just get outside, go and explore somewhere you don't normally explore. It's great. So I have a few takeaways from my journey so far. I've wrote them down, so I'm going to read them out here because I'll forget otherwise. You don't have to wait for rock bottom to make a change. That for me has been a huge lesson, especially with the weight gain as well. Every time I would look at myself and weigh myself, I would see myself getting heavier, and my head would be like, well, that's just it then, I'm just fat. That's it, that's life, I'm overweight, deal with it kind of thing. You don't have to wait for rock bottom. You can make the change before it gets to rock bottom. And if you are at rock bottom, make the change. You will not regret it. Discipline is a form of self-respect. Let me say that again. Discipline is a form of self-respect. I lacked self-respect, and when I have become more disciplined in all aspects of my life, I respect myself so much more. I smile more, I laugh more, I feel prouder of my achievements, I accept praise more, which is something I've really struggled with for years. If someone says you've done a great job, I'm like, yeah, but it could be better. That's always my go-to. So the self-respect aspect definitely comes from discipline, for me anyway. You're not lazy, you're just out of rhythm. That was huge because I used to always call myself lazy. The reason the business is struggling, you're lazy. The reason you're overweight is because you're lazy. The reason your marriage is not where it needs to be and your relationships with friends and family is not where it needs to be is because you're not putting in the effort. It makes you lazy. It's not the case. You're just not organized. You just not have that flow right now. And that's okay as well. But if you recognize it, you can change certain things, and it doesn't have to be huge changes with all this. Change one thing. Maybe you say, I'm going to turn my phone on silent mode while I do X task. Or maybe I'm going to go to the gym twice next week. Maybe I'm going to book onto that fitness class that I really enjoy, and I haven't gone for a while because I'm worried what other people are thinking of me. Small changes have huge impacts. And one more I wrote down here. Taking care of your body is the fastest way to fix your mind. And I can scream this from the rooftop. I'm not going to scream now, but I should. I should scream it in the forest. It is so true. Honestly, being healthier has just changed my mindset. I have not broke down in tears on my own now, probably 4 months now. Beforehand, I'd break down all the time, alone, in silence kind of thing, you know? Not in front of people because I'm proud and I'm like, oh, you're a man, you can't break down. But there's been many a times I've broke down because of all these things I'm talking about. It all plays a part, doesn't it? And I feel it's an important message to remind yourself. And that last quote there, taking care of your body is the fastest way to fix your mind, I'm gonna have on my PC screen on a sticky note to remind myself every single day, because I need that constant reminder. So where am I now? Still learning, still growing. I'm definitely not the finished article, and I've kind of accepted that not being the finished article is also okay. Life is not perfect. There's going to be other obstacles that get in my way. There's going to be ups and downs with this. I am going to go through another dip at some point, I'm sure. But I feel the lessons I've learned and what I just spoke about, the 4 points there, will really help get me back on track quicker. Is it okay to have a bad day? Yes, you're not human if you don't have a bad day. But is it okay to have a bad day and hate yourself for having a bad day? No. That's what I'm going to stop. That's what I'm going to change moving forward. It's okay to have a bad day. It's normal. And hey, look, I'm not shredded. I'm not perfect. I still need to lose nearly another 3 and a bit stone to get to where I want to be. But am I happier? Absolutely. I feel on top of the world right now, and it's because of the changes I decided to make. So if you've watched this video, and I'm hoping it's going to stretch out to further than my normal audience and a new audience maybe who might be in a similar position, feeling underwhelmed, feeling useless, feeling like they've hit rock bottom, feeling like because of whatever age you are, whether you're 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, whatever age you are, feeling like that's it, this is life, I can't start again, I can't take control of my life. I'm hoping this video reaches you and you find some form of motivation from it. I'm not a motivational speaker, I never will be. Not smart enough to be, but I hope there's some points in here today that hit you and kind of just make you love yourself again. Because honestly, and this is not big-headed when I say this, I love myself again. And I've not loved myself for many, many years. So I wrote down another thing I wanted to make sure I say, because all this talking I will forget stuff. But I wanted a reminder for people, if you're watching this and you feel stuck, you feel tired, you feel lost, please hear me when I say this. You don't need to overhaul your life overnight. Baby steps, small changes. Maybe you want to wake up tomorrow and instead of having your morning coffee, you're going to switch it for a water. I love my coffee. I definitely drink a lot less now as well because I don't feel as tired all the time. But baby steps is all you need to do. And remember, you may not feel like you are, but you are worth the effort. We are all worth the effort, regardless of what we've been through in the past, regardless of how old we are. It's your life. We get one of them. And sometimes the reminder of that is super important. So if this has resonated with you in any way, please, please, please do me a favor, put it in the comments below. You know, what changes do you plan to make? I'm keen to know because I feel we're scared to talk about this kind of thing, talking about mental health, especially men, but I'm putting myself out there on the internet, vulnerable as anything for the world to see. I struggle with my mental health. I struggle with all this stuff as well. But yeah, what changes are you going to make for the better?